Thank you for watching Why I Killed You TV. Please make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share this particular video and this particular YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it. On May the 7th of 2025, a tragic house fire occurred around 12:30 a.m. on Merritt Street in Harristown, a suburb in Toowoomba, Australia. The fire killed 3 children: Ellouisa Patricia Brighton's 9-year-old son, who died at the scene, and her 4- and 7-year-old daughters, who were pulled from the fire but later died from their injuries at Queensland Children's Hospital. Authorities have charged 36-year-old Ellouisa Patricia Brighton with 3 counts of murder, 3 counts of attempted murder, and 1 count of arson. Investigators allege that she potentially started the fire by pouring gasoline on her children while they were sleeping and set them on fire. 3 other people were inside the house at the time: a 34-year-old male who suffered serious injuries to his arms, an 18-year-old man, and an 11-year-old boy who both suffered minor injuries, but all 3 survived. Brighton suffered critical burns to over a third of her body and is currently in a coma at the Royal Bispan and Women's Hospital under police guard. She has not yet appeared in court due to her medical condition, but a hearing is scheduled for May 16, 2025. She has not yet appeared in court due to her medical condition, but a hearing is scheduled for May the 16th, 2025, where she will appear via video. Investigators also revealed that while Brighton had no known history with the Queensland Child Services, she had prior contact with child protection agencies in other states under different names.
They hate you. You're gonna die. I don't want to do this.
A 9-year-old boy is dead, and his mother and 2 younger sisters are fighting for life after a horrific house fire in Toowoomba. As Michael Hammond reports, neighbours are in shock as investigators try to piece together exactly what happened.
Good afternoon. Police, forensics and fire investigators remain at this Toowoomba home trying to piece together exactly why this family tragedy has unfolded. What we know so far is that this home was engulfed in flames around 12:30 this morning before emergency crews had even arrived at the scene. Neighbours have since described hearing people screaming and trying to break open windows to escape. A 9-year-old boy tragically died. His 36-year-old mother and 2 sisters, aged 4 and 7, were left fighting for life. The children's 34-year-old father suffered serious injuries while another boy escaped unharmed. Locals say the family have lived here for several years but have largely kept to themselves.
They were mostly kept to themselves, but the little kids were so happy.
Very sad. Little children were burnt and they were taken away in the ambulance.
A crime scene has now been declared at that location, and we're working with other agencies to determine the cause of the fire.
Police are treating this as a possible domestic violence case. Neighbours did hear arguing and commotion in the hours before this fire broke out. The homicide squad is involved in this investigation. This afternoon there are still so many questions left unanswered.
The Toowoomba house fire tragedy has risen to 3 after the decision was made to switch off the life support for 2 little girls badly burned in the inferno. As Michael Hammond reports, detectives haven't yet been able to speak to the children's mother, who remains under police guard in hospital.
Good afternoon. The father and 2 of the children have since been discharged from hospital, but they're now having to grapple with the latest tragic developments. A 4-year-old girl and a 7-year-old girl who were critically injured in this fire passing away after their life support was switched off overnight. And of course, the 36-year-old mother is still fighting for her life. She is under police guard as homicide squad investigators consider whether she deliberately lit this fire. They haven't been able to speak to her at all given the severity of her injuries, but detectives have interviewed the father, who they say frantically tried to help the children to safety. And while this wasn't a home they regularly attended, police say they did have some interactions with the family. Queensland Premier David Crisafulli has spoken out about this tragedy. Let's take a listen.
We have to do everything we can to make sure that a thorough, a detailed and a respectful investigation is done. We owe that to these kids. We are doing everything we can at the moment to make sure that we can give police the resources to deal with domestic and family violence.
Forensic teams and fire investigators are back at the scene here today trying to answer many of those questions we all have. But the reality is, if the mother doesn't pull through, we may never get a full understanding of exactly what's happened and why.
Last night, a 4-year-old girl and an 11-year-old girl succumbed to significant injuries that they sustained in that house fire, which was on yesterday's date, on the 7th of May. They sadly passed away at the Queensland Children's Hospital. I can share with you a further update in regards to the family involved. A 36-year-old woman remains in a critical condition in the Royal Brisbane and Women's Hospital and continues to be under police guard. A 34-year-old male was released from hospital yesterday. An 11-year-old boy and an 18-year-old male who were under observation have been released from hospital. What we know so far is that we are treating this matter as suspicious. We have detectives from the Darling Down District, along with the Homicide Investigation Unit, assisting this investigation. We also brought in other specialist teams to assist, and some of that takes part with the forensic and scientific examination at the scene. As part of our investigation, we'll be looking at any interaction or communication from the family with police prior to this incident. And we are again appealing for anyone who may have information or any vision to come forward. From what we've been advised at this point in time, she is in a critical condition, has survived obviously last night, is expected to survive, but as I said, things can change quite quickly. I mean, obviously we're hoping that she does, and that's not wanting to just be able to speak with her, but obviously in terms of her surviving this incident.
Tribute, marking the horror that took place in this family home.
It's just heartbreaking. It's so tragic.
Overnight, 2 girls aged just 4 and 7 died in the Queensland Children's Hospital from the injuries they suffered in a terrifying inferno. Their Toowoomba home was engulfed in flames about 12:30 on Wednesday morning. A 9-year-old boy also died in the fire.
It's just so deeply, deeply troubling for that community.
The girl's 36-year-old mother survived the blaze. She remains in a critical condition in hospital under police guard. Officers are waiting to speak to her.
That is something our investigators are working on with the hospital to arrange, but will happen dependent on her condition.
2 men aged 34 and 18 and an 11-year-old boy were able to escape. They've been discharged from hospital.
The 18-year-old male and the 34-year-old did assist with removing or assisting with the children getting from that premises.
As part of their inquiries, officers will look at any interactions the family had with police in the lead up to the fire. The Premier is promising a detailed and thorough investigation.
We owe that to these kids. We owe it to the neighbours who went through that trauma. We owe it to a community that will be feeling broken.
Toowoomba locals are finding small ways to express their grief.
I have to speak to my kids. I told them we have to buy the flour and put it in.
When it's in your town, you feel like you know them.
Officers praised for their response to a scene that was confronting.
While we are first responders and are trained to deal with these sorts of incidents, I want to assure you that we're not immune to feeling the impact.
With a major update in a case of alleged domestic violence in Toowoomba. Live to Jade Richards, and Jade, a mother, has been charged over a house fire which killed 3 of her children.
Sharon, these are serious charges: 3 counts of domestic violence murder and 3 counts of attempted murder, 1 count of arson. 36-year-old Ellouisa Brighton is accused of deliberately lighting a house fire while 7 people, including herself, were inside. Her 9-year-old son didn't make it out of the burning home, while her 2 daughters, aged 4 and 7, died in hospital from their injuries. Brighton's 34-year-old partner, as well as an 18-year-old man and 11-year-old boy, managed to escape. Brighton herself suffered burns so serious detectives have been waiting almost a week to speak with her. She is still in a critical condition at the Royal Brisbane and Women's Hospital, but those charges have now been laid. This investigation is so complex. The Child Protection Investigation Unit, Homicide Squad and Child Trauma Unit are all involved. Gibson's matter was mentioned in the Brisbane Magistrates Court today. It's been adjourned until Friday. If she's well enough staff. Brighton will appear on video link for that mention. Her condition is very much slowing down this investigation, but this is no doubt a major move in the case for detectives.
They hate you. You're gonna die. I don't want to do this.